Hey fellow explorers, today I am in Chinatown in downtown Los Angeles, and I'm going to show you around this neighborhood that I feel like is a little hidden gem in the tourist path in downtown Los Angeles. I'm going to turn the camera out so you can see what I can see. And I am starting this in the central plaza of Chinatown. We're going to take a look at some of these restaurants and shops here, but first we'll take a look at this gate. This is the main gate to Chinatown's central plaza, dating back to the 1930s when this was considered New Chinatown. The original Chinatown was where Union Station is today. When they built Union Station, they tore down Chinatown and they moved it over here. Now, just over this way is the Chinatown Metro Station. So if you're taking the subway or the metro here, that's where you're gonna go to. If you're walking around Chinatown, they've got all these signs that tell you about the walk that you're gonna do. Roughly what we're gonna do here in Chinatown, we're gonna start at the Central Plaza, walk our way down Broadway, the main street. If we look up at this gate, it's historic. It's not illuminated, it's wood, but right underneath it is a statue of Dr. Sun Yat-sen. He is often considered the founder of modern China. He was the first president of the Republic of China, known as Taiwan today. And this plaza, when they built it in the 30s, was generally kind of considered one of America's first outdoor shopping malls. And it's historic today, so their buildings kind of look just like they did back then. Lots of yellows, reds. They've got the lanterns that are here, and this is really cool to come at nighttime once these lanterns come on. A lot of these things are gift shops, so you can get your lanterns to bring home, or maybe your qipao or your rice field hat to bring home too. And hello, how are you? I'm well, how about yourself? Friendly people here that are the shopkeepers. You can see you can get a little maybe Winnie the Pooh hat, some toys, even perhaps a back scratcher. And some of the old school restaurants are being replaced by new school ones. This one called Blossom has kind of a neat modern vibe inside. I have not eaten in here, but it looks pretty nice and clean in there. This place really gets its most buzz on a weekend. I'm here at a Friday, like a little before lunchtime, and so it hasn't become hopping all that yet. Here's I think it was a fountain at one point in time before COVID. I've been here when it had water, but then there were all these kind of like Chinese charms and Buddhas and statues on it. There is a restroom back over here, which I think you can get a coin or something from the different vendors to use the restroom back there. I mentioned we're going to be walking down Broadway. There are two main streets in Chinatown, Broadway and then Hill Street, which is right here. This restaurant, Fu Chow, which is behind the garbage truck. You can't see it right now, but they have a big sign that said the famous movie Rush Hour by Jackie Chan was filmed right there. So a lot of these restaurants and shops might not look like much from the outside, but I do encourage you to go in and take a look at all of them because they're pretty neat once you get inside. Get yourself maybe a pinwheel over here on a nice windy day. Or maybe if you've got kiddos, they can ride around with Winnie the Pooh right there. This little Chinatown Plaza is basically like a one-block area, though they have a few different side streets you can go down. Here we've got Hop Louie, Mandarin food, Cantonese banquets. This place looks like it's been shut for a little while. COVID was not kind to many of the restaurants that are here, but you will see many stores like Chunky Gifts, new stores celebrating Asian and Pacific Islander creatives. So they've got gifts and they've got tea inside, which looks like a pretty nice place. Oh, and it looks like they've got some pastries too. And a pink air conditioner, which is, it's LA, so it's kind of funky. If you're watching this and planning out your first trip to LA definitely is a place like no other place, with just Hollywood and all of the industry that's here. You will find it to be quite a collection of these little different neighborhoods. Chinatown is contained in this area. There's the old Mexican part of downtown LA, Olvera Street. There's Little Tokyo, and so there's all these different ethnic neighborhoods. Right here, we've got a statue of who else? Who's this right here? Who's on this statue? This is a statue of I said we were going to see a statue of Jackie Chan. I'm sorry. This is a statue of Bruce Lee. This is the Bruce Lee statue right here with his nunchucks in hand. And then the street continues down this way that we'll walk on. But I do want to point out the new Chinatown sign right up there in the 1930s when this was new. Probably nobody refers to this as new Chinatown today. There's a chess set over here in this little Tomorrow Today. Looks like they got some books and some chess. There's the Buddha temple here where you can pick up feng shui supplies. And they've got little plaques that, will tell you about all these different things. Sun Mun Wei right here, named in honor of Dr. Sun Yat-sen that we saw his statue over there at the beginning. There's a couple more gates to Chinatown. These two this way, and then behind me, a little less ornate than the main ones that we saw earlier. Now, the modern Chinatown in Los Angeles is in what's known as the San Gabriel Valley. Sometimes people abbreviate it as the SGV. The San Gabriel Valley is where you're going to find some of the best Chinese food today. Sure, there's Chinese food here in Chinatown, but if you're looking for some of the best Chinese food, you're going to want to head out to Alhambra. It's kind of like the center of it as a city, but look for dim sum and things like that in the San Gabriel Valley. Along Atlantic and some of these places here, we've got Broadway cuisine, Mandarin cuisine, inside of there, with a really neat, tiled mosaic up here. Okay, continuing down Broadway, if you are taking public transit, the metro station is just in between Blossom Plaza. You would walk through there and you'd come out on Broadway and you could check out that Central Plaza of Chinatown that we walked on. The streets, you can see, their signs are in English and Chinese. And now we're going to cross the street. And you can see everything here is definitely heavily Asian themed. Even the Bank of America has kind of this really interesting tile roof on it. A lot of new development coming up here as well. You can see some new buildings back up here, the development that was spurred on by the opening of that metro station. It's also really close to Union Station, so if you're taking the train from somewhere to Los Angeles, this is about maybe a 15-minute walk from Union Station, so quite accessible. We are just crossing College Street along Broadway. At this time of the day, this is the shady side of the street, so this is the side of the street we're going to be walking on. Broadway is also a major bus route, so tons of bus routes through Los Angeles will bring you right here through the heart of Chinatown. Now, you'll notice here it's busier, so most of the people who come to Chinatown to shop or eat, they don't really go to that Chinatown Plaza. The tourists go to the Chinatown Plaza to see the neat architecture and appreciate the historic part of it. But the eating and shopping hub is definitely here along Broadway. And where do you park if you come here? Well, there is street parking, but there's you can't park during certain hours of the day. They tow you. It's really, I wouldn't park on the street. I'd find a parking garage or parking lot to park in. The parking here is pretty expensive for LA. Many of these lots charge between $3 to $5 or $7 a day. I parked in one that was $5 all day parking. Do that and don't be worried about your car. All right, so shopping. We're gonna turn in here. Oh, hey, this guy is making fresh pressed sugarcane juice right here. $6 for a glass of sugarcane juice. Presses it right there, and the sugarcane gets juiced right there. I think I'm gonna have to come back for one of those. This is right outside Saigon Plaza, and this is a full-on covered Asian-style shopping center. I say covered because we're outside, but they've built these roofs to keep the sun away, keep the rain away. Not that it rains very often, but if you wanted to bring home, say, a waving cat, this is absolutely where you would get it, or shoes. What are the prices on these things? Most of them not posted. You generally have to ask the shopkeeper, and so yes, you can haggle here too. If the price is posted, that's probably a little firmer, but this shop, we see things for $4 for $10. Four of what? I don't know. Four of what's in the box. Get your LA t-shirts, get your luggage because you need a little bit more. Get a blanket to bring home. Maybe get yourself little dress. Get yourself a qipao, the classic Chinese attire. And again, this isn't very busy today, Friday, before lunch, but if you're here on a Saturday or Sunday, you can expect to find this quite hustling and quite bustling. But that's one of the reasons why I do these generally on off hours, so that as I walk through these things, you can actually see the stuff as opposed to just the backs and heads of people, which is what you'll see here on a Saturday or Sunday, kind of a crush of humanity through this little plaza, believe it or not. And so many of these stores, they don't open every day of the week because, well, they're just not busy all the time. Or they don't open all that early because they know everybody tends to get here a little bit after lunch. Get yourself a head covering, get yourself a broom, maybe get yourself a Pokemon, a Pikachu, or a Mario. How about that? And then this brings us into the Dynasty Center. Oh, I should point out, there's some kind of like statues right here with some incense that's burning. And inside the Dynasty Center, this is another, like it kind of continues that shopping plaza, except this is the indoor part of it. Not as busy as the outdoor part of it. Isn't that interesting? Everybody wants to be in the outdoor part. If you are looking for a restroom, you will find restrooms in here. I can't vouch that they're the cleanest restrooms, but they do work. I should know. I used them earlier. All right, so this brings us back out to Broadway that we peeled off for a moment. And you can see they've got more signs here to tell you about the history of the Dynasty Center in English and in Chinese. And so looking back at the map, we started here at the Central Plaza. We're now here at the Dynasty Center, and we're going to walk our way down to the main Chinatown gate to all of Chinatown over this way. We've got some street vendors that are out here on the street selling groceries, fruits, and veg. In California, changed the laws a few years ago, so sidewalk vending is basically legal in almost all parts of California right now. So if you see people out in the street and you're like, can they be there? Yes, totally legit for those people to be selling their stuff on the street. Over here we've got a Cathay Bank that's also got a nice red tiled roof on the top. We've got the LA Department of Water and Power doing some construction right now. So we got some cones set up in the middle of the street. We got a billboard up here that says Chinatown from LA Art, and the bus stop has a Disney Wish movie that they're advertising. You will find in Los Angeles movie advertisements just about everywhere. This is the movie town after all. And you can see when I mentioned parking is $5 here. You know, the good news about a $5 lot is you'll get somebody who sits in the parking lot to make sure everything's kosher. So I think the $5 for someone to watch over your car and have it not be towed is actually well worth it. All right, here we've got a supermarket that then also sells out on the street. Actually, what, this isn't a supermarket. What is this place? This is a, they sell poultry, live and fresh poultry. Oh boy, here we go. You can get chickens, rabbits, Peking ducks. So no prices posted, but if you want some exotic meats, that looks like the place you're gonna get it. We've got some dragon fruit out here. We've got some watermelon. We've got some avocados. You can get a foot massage, $20 for an hour. Out here on the street, we've got a lot of like cell phone accessories. We've got pants. We've got shirts. And all pretty cheap. How much are these pants? 10 bucks, 12 bucks. Can't beat that. We've got a little nursery here. So if you want to get some plants, some lucky bamboo, things like that, you'll find it right there. And these kind of like, they go into, there's like stuff in here. There's a barbecue place down here. If you're looking for a pretty good barbecue, LA Brisket down at the end is pretty good. But if you're looking for probably Chinatown's most famous restaurant, it's in this Far East Plaza right here, and it's not Chinese food. It is, dun dun dun, drum roll please, it is Howlin' Ray's hot Nashville style chicken sandwiches. It's actually what I had for lunch today, was a Howlin' Ray's hot chicken sandwich. super good. Lines can be like a couple hours long for Howlin' Rays on the weekend. So if you do want to try that out, either come on a weekday at lunchtime early or plan to wait a long time. But it's in that far east Plaza. They have a second location over in Pasadena if you find this one to be too busy. Here we've got fly swatters, more of these hats, just kind of a general like Chinese supply store. We've got a Chinese herb shop or Chinese medicine in there. We've got opticians. Opticians, is that a word? People who look at your eyes. There is Peking poultry in the back. Back to the basics, eat healthy, eat fresh. Umbrellas, which I don't think they sell out of umbrellas. Oh, seafood. This is a whole like seafood market right here. They've got like crabs, they've got like live catfish, they've got like live lobster right down here. And so you can bring home some really inexpensive seafood right from the tank, as it should be. We got some slippers that are down here. Another public parking lot. Over there is a Liberty Aquarium. No, not the kind of aquarium that you pay admission for, but it is a fish and pet shop. This is a dim sum restaurant here. It says Dim Sum, Lucky Deli Dim Sum Restaurant. That's Thai Chinese by Crispy Pork Gang, which is a Thai restaurant, but this is kind of a like a, steam table sort of setup where you pick out the foods you want off the steam table, which includes some of these dim sum pot sticker items right back there. Oh, and there's a duck, $32.95. I'm sure they'll have a little more later. It's still early. All right, we got more plants, Lucky Bamboo here on the side of the road. Then we got the shopkeeper behind a little bit of plastic, keeping himself safe. Also selling guitars and hats to keep the sun away. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And we are now on Ord Street and Broadway. Light's just about to turn green as we go. There we go. You hear the roar of the Nissan 300Z. People like the sound of their engines here in Los Angeles. This is Cartown, USA, after all. Or is that Detroit? I don't know. I'm going to call it LA. Another supermarket that really just this is the actual produce market, but then it kind of all spills out here onto the sidewalk. So you can get your fresh veg, just kind of walk along, pick what you like out here on the street, whether it be bananas, pineapples, and a healthy dose of incense. They haven't invented smell-o-vision yet, but the incense there is pretty strong. Okay, another great picture stop here is right here at the Southern California Tiao Chu Association. This temple right back here, it's like a Buddha in the back. There's an incense burner, so that's pretty cool. You can go up in there and check that out. There's also a little plaza here. If you're looking for tasty but cheap Japanese food, Suhiro Mini back in here. I think that's pretty tasty Japanese eats. They also have a location in Little Tokyo. But you can see with the, we'll call it the gentrification of Chinatown. That's a word, gentrification of LA, of the old stuff becoming new stuff. Some people like it, some people don't. But here's a new modern apartment building that's replaced some of the stuff that perhaps was older and more run down over on the right. If you're looking for a really good porchetta sandwich, like a crispy pork, you can check it out over at the Croft over here. They have a few locations across Los Angeles. Oh, and if you notice there are not that many homeless here, well, it's because this is a special enforcement zone. No person shall lie, sleep, or allow items to remain in the public right-of-way around this area. These are some of those areas. So that's kind of how LA has tried to clean up the homeless problem. They know they can't clean it up in the whole city, and so instead they've created special enforcement zones where people can't set up tents or lodging on the street. If you do come around the downtown LA though, and you're walking the Chinatown, there are some parts of LA that you definitely want to avoid, but the areas of Chinatown, Olvera Street, Union Station, Little Tokyo, those are all pretty solid and decent neighborhoods to explore. But if it's your first time, maybe just do it in the day. Because frankly, most of these shops that we walked by in Chinatown, they're one-person shops, and they have a tendency to close if it's late at night too. All right, and so what I just walked through is the main Chinatown arch that I'm now gonna turn around and show you this way. This is on Broadway and Cesar Chavez. This has the big dragon up on top, and so if you're driving down Broadway, this is how you know you have made it into Chinatown. Well, fellow explorers, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos on Los Angeles, you'll find a couple right up here. Definitely check out Little Tokyo. I'm gonna get my face out of the sun. It's one of my favorite neighborhoods. But explore the whole city. You can check out my whole LA travel guide right here. As usual, I won't say goodbye because I'm gonna see you in one of those videos.